Hello, Sunnyside. Oh, the good Lord certainly knows how to get our attention. He knows how to shake us up, and he does it masterfully. This is really the end of Black History Month, and I want to try and remember to just share the names of some Negro spirituals between each one of my presentations. I'm going to try and remember. Okay, so as I start out, the Black History question for last time was who, what was the name of the second Black impeachment manager who brought charges against the president during the second impeachment trial? Now, the first name for last month, or the last time we presented it, was Representative Stacy Plaskett, and she was representative from the U.S. Virgin Islands. This time, the answer is Representative Joe Neguse, Neguse, and he's from Colorado. Okay, so these are two names that will perhaps go down in history because they did a masterful job. Amen. I couldn't hear nobody pray. Ooh, if I could just sing it. I couldn't hear nobody pray. As a member of the African American Quilters of Los Angeles, when we had our last Black History program, between every poem of every presentation, we would mention the name of a Negro spiritual. And it was just simply beautiful how the group, and it was at least 50, 60, 70 of us just singing those old-time Negro spirituals. It was really, really beautiful. And that was really the way some of our programs were conducted here at Sunnyside during Black History Month as well. NUMMA Community Clinic is providing COVID vaccinations for adults that are 65 years and older. Now, if you know someone that would like to get an appointment, please have them call the number 323-592-9792. That is for people who are 65 years and older if they need to make an appointment to get the COVID vaccination. The number again is 323-592-9792. I got a robe, you got a robe, all of God's children got robes. Okay, I cannot sing. That's the spiritual though. Just be aware. Just be aware. FEMA. Okay, I received this notice, and I want to thank you because people are starting to send me information to share with you. FEMA to pay up to $7,000 for funeral expenses due to COVID-19. The information goes on to say that if you've lost a loved one and they had to really struggle to pay for funeral expenses, we're glad to announce that there is federal help available, or at least it's on the way. There are some things, however, that you must be prepared to share. You must have an ID and documentation to show your relation to the deceased. You must have the death certificate must state that the cause of death was COVID-19. You must have documents outlining the cost. Now, this program applies to any services from January 1st to December 31st, 2020. The FEMA link is not ready, launched yet, but there are some phone numbers that you can call. FEMA helpline is 1-800-621-FEMA or 1-800-621-3362. I made that phone call, and I was told after speaking to someone that you need to also try FEMA, that's FEMA.gov. And you're encouraged to continue to monitor that because it's really not set up yet, but it's something down the pipeline. So just be aware of that. The spiritual that comes to mind is he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. You can take it from there. Okay. Election. There is an election that's going on. And election day is March the 2nd. That's this coming Tuesday. Do know that there are drop boxes that are available. You can drop your ballot in the mailbox, okay? And no stamp is needed. There are also voting centers that are open generally 10 days before and up to 8 o'clock at night, okay? That's another possibility. For information, you can also check with lavote.net, lavote.net. All right, be aware then, I wrote it down, be aware that this is for Senate District 30. You should already have your ballots. And if you have them, even though it's Sunday, some of those centers are open. So you can call and inquire to see if your center is open and you can drop it off there. Again, just please do know that all elections are important, and we cannot really afford to miss a single one. A lot of energy went into building up to the past election, but elections are held more frequently than just every 4 years. Okay, so let's keep that momentum going. Know that senators are in office for 6 years. However, representatives are in office just for 2 years. So those who were just elected, they really need to be working on their next on the next election because their time will be up in 2 years. All right. Let us break bread together. That's the spiritual. Let us break bread together on our knees. On our knees. A Black History fundraiser. A Black History fundraiser. There is one coming up today, February the 28th, at Harmony Baptist Church. And this musical will be featuring our own Sister Louise Duncan. One of the songs that I remember Sister Duncan singing was, "May the work I've done speak for me. May the service I give speak for me. May the life I live speak for me." And as I think in terms of that song, and I think of Sister Duncan singing that song, I think of our own minister, Craig McGee, who recently passed. I think of our own Sister Mary Stevens. And I think of my uncle, Brother William Brooks, all who were members here at Sunnyside. Do know that Brother Brooks's funeral will be on Monday, March the 1st at LA South Sanctuary, which is literally in walking distance from Sunnyside. It is essentially on the corner of 94th and Vermont. Please be aware of that. There will be a viewing from 9:30 until 10:30, and the actual services will be at 11 o'clock. I was telling you, however, about this musical fundraiser at Harmony Missionary Baptist Church. It will take place today, February the 28th, at 3 p.m. The location for the church is 4132 South San Pedro, or San Pedro. That's LA 90011. It is a fundraiser, so if you'd like, feel free to call the church at 323-231-6540. Again, 323-231-6540. That is 3 p.m. this afternoon, a musical fundraiser. So you're encouraged to watch the program on YouTube and send a donation to Harmony Missionary Baptist Church. Give me that old time religion. Remember that song? That's the Negro spiritual. Be aware. Be aware. The 29th annual Pan-African Film Festival. For 29 years, it's been offered here in Los Angeles. And this is the first time that it will be going virtual. It runs from February the 28th through March 14th. Now, that's really different in itself. It usually runs just during Negro History Month, all right? It goes, however, through March the 14th. You can get information by going to paff.org to purchase an all-access pass or tickets. Now, this Pan-African Film Festival is really America's largest and most prestigious black film festival. Each year, it screens more than 150 made by and or about people of African descent from around the world. It holds the distinction of being the largest Black History Month event in the entire country. Do know, I used to love to attend that, and I look forward to meeting vendors who would be selling art, and they would also sell clothing, things that you would not see every day because they were coming from different sections of the country. All right? In fact, the Seniors on the Go, we used to attend the film festival, especially at times when they were free to seniors. But again, the Pan-African Film Festival, it was held over at Baldwin Hills Mall, then it was held over at Fox Hills Mall, but most recently it has been at Baldwin Hills Mall, and hopefully it will come back next year. And there were vendors that I remember from New York, from Atlanta, from New Mexico, and from Dallas, Texas. So again, if it comes back again, I do encourage you to really go and support the vendors as they do come. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. When you think about that song historically, who do you think was saying hush? And who do you think was actually calling their names? All right? Be aware. These are black spirituals, a part of our history. The Los Angeles Library has a virtual touring, Black History virtual touring, that is still available. And in this virtual touring, they made use of any number of things that would be fascinating for you to go online and see. So you don't actually have to physically go into the library. One of the things that they show is the March on Washington, 1963. And I was fascinated looking down on the page, and I saw where they actually had the program. You only hear about the March on Washington, but actually the title of it is March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom August 28, 1963. As I looked at the program, there were some 18 different speakers. And as I looked again, I was really surprised at who I actually saw. During the national anthem was Marian Anderson. One of the speakers was A. Philip Randolph, okay, who was the actual director. There were remarks given by any number of people. One of the speakers was Mrs. Medgar Evers. Her husband was killed. He was really an active member, I believe, of the NAACP, one that was working really hard to register blacks to vote. I believe that was in Mississippi. Mrs. Medgar Evers was acknowledging a tribute to black Negro women fighters for freedom. With that, she acknowledged Rosa Parks. She acknowledged Diane Nash Bevel, who was really a student, who was really, really very active at the college level, leading protests. She also was speaking about Miss Daisy Bates. And Miss Bates was the counselor for the Little Rock Nine. I digress a bit. The Little Rock Nine were 9 students who went to try out registering to enter Little Rock, a school in Little Rock, Arkansas. The Little Rock Nine were the 9 students who actually went to do just that. As I was going to Cal State LA, I ended up meeting one of the members of the Little Rock Nine, and his name was Jefferson Thomas. Jeff, I believe, was the only person of the Little Rock Nine thus far who's passed. And it just made me go back and look at his program. I don't know if you can see that or not, but here is a picture of all 9 students. And in order for these students to attend this school, the president had to literally, well, he actually did have the National Guard to accommodate these students, to go with these students to class for an entire year. Now, when I think about how they're talking about in Washington, D.C., how the Capitol is boarded up, our history has a way of really kind of repeating itself. But this was just to protect 9 children to attend high school. Be aware of that. Our history is something else. Okay? Jefferson Thomas. Going back now. Also on that program, John Lewis, okay, the congressman who recently passed, who told us to get into good trouble, okay? He consciously got into good trouble. Also speaking was James Farmer, who was the national director of CORE, okay? That's Congress of Racial Equality. Speaking also was Whitney Young, okay? He was the executive director of the Urban League. And I'm mentioning this because I never realized that all these other people were there speaking at the March on Washington. Roy Wilkins was there, and he was the executive secretary of the NAACP. Mahalia Jackson was singing. And I remember over time hearing the statement that she said, "Tell him, Dr. King, tell him about your dream." And I realized she was actually there, close enough to really say that, so that, again, the remarks by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, he actually heard her and actually did go into talking about, I have a dream. I have a dream. Okay. don't know if that shows or not. I have a dream. But it was just interesting how, as you look at things, you're aware of other things. Closing out the March on Washington was the pledge given by A. Philip Randolph, and finally the benediction was given by Dr. Benjamin E. Mays, who was the president of Morehouse College. Okay. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I shared that Negro spiritual as well. As you continue going to the library, though, be aware, part of the virtual tour that you can be given is the tour of Frederick Douglass's last home. Okay? Really one of our early freedom fighters. You can visit Booker T. Washington and Tuskegee Institute. Okay? Booker T. Washington was the founder. He actually built it literally brick by brick along with his students. On that tour also, you can tour the exhibit of George Washington Carver. Now, he was a scientist. If you like peanut butter, he came up with so many different inventions by using the peanut. Also, the virtual tour that you can take at the library is you can discover the trail, the U.S. Civil Rights Trail. So again, quite a bit of information is just really at your fingertips. You need to, however, go join your local library. Standing in the need of prayer, another Negro spiritual. Standing in the need of prayer. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who inspired the first ever Black History Month, said, "Knowing the past opens the door to the future. Knowing the past opens the door to the future." Today, as elections are taking place, do know that Tishana Jones could be the very first Black woman mayor of St. Louis. The election will be taking place this Tuesday, so stay in touch. See if Black history is still being made there. Know also that Jennifer Carroll Foy could be the first Black woman governor in America. She is running for governor in the state of Virginia. It's really something how these first, we're still experiencing first. And know also that Lauren Underwood is the youngest Black woman ever to serve in Congress in history. And she is the very first one to represent her district in Illinois. That's District 14. She was just brought in with the 2020 elections. Go down Moses. Go down Moses. Another spiritual. Another one. Every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray. Sunnyside, I just wonder if you knew. I was given this newspaper article by Brother Craig. He liked to pass out things just to keep you on your toes. But this article says, her and son's arrest sparked the Watts riots. Her and son's arrest sparked the Watts riots. Do know that the mother that they are referring to was a longtime member of Sunnyside. Her partner, she and Sister Bates would sit back in the back. Okay, but they were here, religiously. All right. So my question is, who is this woman of Sunnyside, where the newspaper says that her and the son's arrest sparked the Watts riots? Find out. Who was she? Okay. And she was funeralized here at Sunnyside back in 2013. She was around any number of years. A beautiful soul. Okay? I'm getting ready to close out now. I'd like to remind you that there are some things that you really need to consider. First of all, I challenged you last time, and I'm going to challenge you again to write your life's story the way you want it told. Write your life story. And I'm saying this really because of COVID, because of the things that's happening. It's almost like there's a domino effect that's going on with lives now. Write your own story. Have difficult discussions with your family. There are some things we want to just put off and put off and put off. But eventually, those discussions really need to be held. Get your affairs in order. Get your affairs in order and let someone know where those important papers are. Okay? As I close, wade in the water, another Negro spiritual, 'tis the old ship of Zion. Steal away. Steal away. Just be aware of our history. COVID is real. Oh, it's so real. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Be conscious of self-distancing. And whenever possible, stay at home. And while you're at home, if you think of someone that comes to your mind, pick up the phone and just give them a call. That just might be the medicine that they're in need of. God bless you. Amen.